Hello and welcome everyone. We've got a brand new challenge with Kendra's Card Challenge number 21. Today's video is part of a hop. It is our introduction video in which you'll have a chance to win a huge prize from Kendra. Now, it is a hop video and all of the information is listed in the description box below. I'm going to start off here by working with Sketch 5 and we're going to talk a little bit about the hop. There is a link in the description box that you can fill out for a chance to win this huge prize by Kendra, but you're going to have to pay attention. Each designer is going to have a passphrase that they're going to give out probably toward the end of the video, and you're going to want to catch that passphrase, and you'll need to fill it into the form for a chance to win. Now this sketch calls for an embossed panel here, and it's on the sketch. I'm just pointing it out. And so I have embossed this panel for Sketch 5. Now, if you follow along through the hop, I'm going to encourage you to do that. You're going to get to see a variety of things. Kendra, of course, is going to kick off the hop, and then Beth is actually going to show you how to cut the 6x6 pieces of pattern paper, and then the rest of the designers are going to feature some of the card sketches. So I encourage you to just follow along and make sure you get everybody's passphrase and you get them entered in the for a chance to win, and just see what the new challenge looks like. So I am just doing Sketch 5 here, and I'm just following along with the sketch, which I've just popped up there for you to see. You'll see it says add any object to it. I'm just using this T-square so that I can kind of get the edges of my pattern paper laid down on here fairly even is what I'm doing. And then for my any object, which is what it says on there, I'm going to bring in the snowman. This is Snowman Friends from Pink and Maine, along with their pattern paper that I'm using here. And we're just going to get some glue on our little snowman and get him laid down on here, and then we will get a sentiment added. And he just fits nicely across those 3 pieces of pattern paper. And I'm just going to position my sentiment there at the bottom. I'm going to bring in some foam tape, pop it up, and we'll get it laid down on there. And there you go. That is Sketch 5. So that'll finish it off. I'm going to actually add a little bit of bling. I've got some sequins, and we're just going to get some added down on here and just add a little sparkle. I've got some purple just sequins, and we're just going to lay 3 of them down on there if I can get a hold of them. And there we go. Just kind of filled in some of that area, and that'll finish off our card sketch number 5. So let's just move on. We're going to go right into sketch number 6. And I've got it in my little cellophane bag here. And this is one that has 3 different circles. Now I've decided to go ahead and emboss the back panel, the back layer. My card base is off just a little bit, so I'm going to trim it up. And then we'll get that back panel laid down on there. And like I said, you can kind of bring your own design element to it. And so I just emboss that panel just to add an extra little bit of dimension to the card. And then I'm going to bring in this panel here according to the sketch, and we'll just get it laid down. So you do have some layering in addition to your pattern papers that you're using. And you'll just bring in some additional panels and just kind of decorate up your cards. Now to participate in the challenge, which you'll have a chance to win prizes for that. Now let me mention here, I laid that card down, base down, glued it down, but I didn't want to. I got ahead of myself, and I'm leaving it in just to show you. I pulled it off. We're going to get this snowflake laid down on there. And the reason why I pulled it off is it's hanging over the edge, and we're going to trim it up. So I just left my mistake in, so hopefully you won't make it. You can cut it once you get it on there, but it is a lot harder. You have to use like a little craft knife and maybe a ruler to get it cut. But it wasn't glued down, so I just lifted it up real quick. And I'm going to get these circles laid on there kind of hanging off the edge, and then we'll trim them up and we will go back and lay it back down on there, and all will be well. And then I started to tell you about participating in the challenge. To participate in the challenge, all you need to do is to get the cutting guide and the sketches. from www.kendrascardchallenges.com, which is linked in our description box below. And you can get the sketch and the cutting guide as a free member from Kendra's Card Challenge. And then to participate, all you need to do is create all 15 sketches, take a single picture of all 15 sketches, and upload them in the links party. And the links QRL codes are listed on the cutting guide, and there's one for each quarter. You have a chance to win 3 times, one for each quarter, in which you take a single picture of all 15 cards, in which you've completed all 15 sketches, and you enter it into the InLinkz party, and you'll have a chance to win. Additionally, if you want your cards to be showcased, you'll want to put them on the Facebook page as well. Now here I'm laying a kind of a 3-layer sentiment down on this card. It actually shows just for like a rectangle, and I pointed that out when I showed you the guide there. But I'm just going to take and lay some dots of glue down here, and we're going to lay some sequins on here and just kind of fill out some of that open space. And we've basically got our sketch 6 completed when we do this. And this sentiment, warm winter wishes, and those snowflakes are also from Pink and Maine, which is one of our super sponsors. So I'm happy to showcase theirs. Now here is sketch 7, and this one is fun. This one is a sketch in which you're using several strips, and you've got I think pattern A, B, C, and D on here, and so you've got a wide variety of patterns. Now I was going to use the panel that I die cut the circles out for this, but one of them I die cut out too low. So I'm just going to grab another panel, and we're going to need to cut it down because it's a little bit longer than A2 size, so I'm going to cut it down according to the guide, which is calling for an A2 size panel on the base layer. And I was just checking my measurement, and this is going to be our base layer panel according to the sketch. Now the sketch also calls for the next panel, which is slightly smaller than A2, and I have chosen to take and emboss it. So I've got some nice 3D embossed detail on there, and I'm going to get it laid down on our card base, and we've got a nice little frame around there. And then I'm going to start laying all of our strips down. And to do that, I've taken a 3.5-inch panel. It's 3.5 by 5.25. And I'm going to lay these strips down there on that panel. I'm getting them organized so that I can get them laid down in the appropriate order. And we're just going to glue them to this panel, and then we'll be able to cut them on the diagonal according to the sketch. This is just an easy way to do it so that you've got kind of some, I guess, strength to your pattern paper because you're adding a little backer sheet here. It just makes it a little bit stronger with your strips, and then you can cut it more easily. So I'm just choosing the pattern paper according to the sketch, which I've just popped up there for 7. And you'll notice that your sentiment is laid right along there with your strips as well. So I will do that as well. And we're just going to get them laid down on here. So next I'm going to grab my sentiment. And I stamped my sentiment, and then I forgot to cut it according to how the guide had it. So you'll see I'm going to trim it down here, and I will, I'm looking at it going, that's not on the right angle. And so I'm going to just kind of lay it down on there. And that way I know to work. And I'm measuring it on my glass mat to make sure that I've got it close to where it needs to be. And I'm kind of hanging it over the edge there a little bit, and I'm going to trim it off. And then we'll finish up with our strips of pattern paper here. And so we'll just get them laid down on there. And I think the next one I actually didn't cut it correctly. I didn't, so I'll have to trim it down. I'm measuring it, and then I'm going to look at the guide, and I'm going to cut it to the proper size. Sometimes, even though you're following the cutting guide, sometimes you misstep. So I'm just measuring it on my glass mat there and cutting it according to what the sketch says, and we're going to get it laid down on there. I've participated in this challenge many times, and I think I cut it exactly right. And sometimes I get one that's that I've missed, so you just need to fix it and go on, and it's just fine. So if you think you have challenges, sometimes cutting them right, we all do, so I'm right there with you. So I've got this laid on here, and I'm going to bring in my guillotine and cut it down. Now my guillotine, I have a little problem with it. That little guard there has broken, and so it wiggled on me, and I'm going to realize that I need to cut it again. So I'm just going to get it on the diagonal and give it another cut, and we're good to go. So now we've got it just like we need it, and it's good and strong, and I can just glue them all down there on my panel all at once and just kind of get it lined up on there. I thought that pattern paper, or that extra piece of cardstock, just helped to manage all those strips. And I think it looks really cool. It's a neat design with all of those different pattern papers kind of layered and then on the diagonal. So I'll bring in some more of those sequins, and that will pretty much finish off this card because we've got our sentiment on there. Now you could certainly add an additional focal point, but I liked the pattern paper as the sketch showed us. So this is our sketch 5, sketch 6, and sketch 7. So I've taken some pictures, and I'm going to tell you now, my passphrase is KCC number 10. That is the first time I started playing along with Kendra's Card Challenge. So I hope you like the cards. Don't forget to follow along to all the designers and enter to win. Have a great day.